Our topic is called parenting and sacrifice. And I decided to talk about this because there was someone who was supposed to talk about this, but we had we had a session talk about this with him, and he was supposed to be here. He has not arrived, but I'll pick up from there and continue. I will start from where we spoke with the guy. His name is Kevin, because we were discussing about parenting. What is parenting? And we wanted to get some deeper meaning of what parenting is, because when we hear of the word parenting, we are taking it to be something of a mother and a father with their children. But even before we speak about the parenting, yes, it could be the some kind of family thing, like the mother, father, and the children. It could be the thing, but the word parenting itself, word parenting, or the word parent, has got, it is a combination of two words. One is pa, and the other one is rent. Pa is a value of measure of something, value of measure of something, and rent, they are dues which are to be paid after something. So actually the word parent means giving back of what, like paying back of what has been served to you. And the other time I was talking to Sheila, and I was telling Sheila that this aspect of parenting, as it is to give back what has been given, or to pay back the value of what you have been given. If it is that, then it means that it is not only binded between a mother and a child, between a father and the child. If it is to pay back the value of what you have been given, then parenting should be an aspect whereby even someone of 20 years old or 30 years old can be a parent, can act a parent to someone who is 40 years or 50 years. And many people will wonder how, but if we take this parenting, parenting is a responsibility of giving back the value. Therefore, no one has not been given or no one at this age lacks some service which they have been offered by someone else. No one, because we have workmates, we have families, we have groups. Therefore, in one way or another, someone reached out to you. It's not reaching out to you to give you money or to give you something physical, but even when you are asking for a way, you are asking for a road leading to somewhere, or for a way, or maybe you are lost, then someone reaches out to you. That is giving out. Therefore, everyone has been reached out to by any other person in one way or another. Therefore, to be a parent, it is to you now paying back, not to your children as a mother or a father, but to each and every other person. Because in our reality, everyone have experienced participation of many people. From the time we were young up to now, many people have participated in our reality. Some of them have been our teachers, our local leaders, our presidents, our church leaders, our neighbors, our friends. They have participated in our life in one way or another, because no man's life can be experienced without participation of any other of his likeness, same as God, of his image and likeness, so that we reach to this stage of awareness. Therefore, parenting is giving back, not to this or to that, but giving back to every other person who comes to participate in your reality. Because many people do not know that this reality, everyone's reality, because everyone has got their own reality, unique reality. No one has experienced any other person's reality. And in their reality, everyone who has been brought to their reality, and even situations which are brought into their reality, they are not a coincidence. They are never a coincidence. The reason why we are taking this to be like, we are ignoring a lot of things. Like, someone will come into your reality, even that person, even that the conductor in a matatu, the one who collects the fare, is there in your reality to participate. Why? Because it is the part of the learning experience. Every other person, even strangers whom you are walking or you are passing by on the street, they are presented to our reality for a purpose. The reason why all this is passing us is because we are not walking in awareness. So, as much as there was participation in one way or another in your life, you have to give that, you have to give the participation outward. That one which was given to you, you have to give it outward. How do you give it outward? There are two ways of giving back. Two forms of parenting. You can either choose to be a good parent, or you can choose to be a bad parent. Who is a good parent? The good parent to any other person. We said a parent can be, someone of 20 years can be a parent to someone of 40 years. Because parenting is paying back the measure of value, that which was offered or serviced to you. Therefore, a good parent is that which gives out. That which gives out to each and every other person, or giving out to another person. Because the word another has two words. Any other is what makes another. So it means any other person. Any other person. Giving out to any other person without putting biases in between. Without any bias. Giving out to any other person without any bias. Therefore, the only way to give out to any other person unbiased is to give out with love. Like we have to be godlike, because I was talking to Sheila yesterday, and we did a video on the topic of the Lord's Prayer. This is the parenting of God, and I was saying that actually I told her that the Lord's Prayer is summed up. For me, I will sum up the Lord's Prayer with two words: Our Father. Period. Finished business. Finished. The rest of the prayer, there's nothing. The rest of the prayer, the rest of the Lord's Prayer, I summed everything to the two words: Our Father. When these two words sums up the Lord's Prayer, number one, it declares oneness. It declares oneness with God, because God here becomes the parent. God here becomes the parent. It proclaims oneness. It proclaims divine worship and sonship. Kidogo is calling me. Let me call him back a bit. I think he has an issue. Kamau. Let me call him back. I think he's experiencing some problems. Where's my phone? Kamau, can you hear us here, Kamau?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I saw an incoming call. I don't know.
No, I didn't call you.
This
Maybe
internet
another
is funny.
come
There
out.
was an incoming call.
Huh?
There was an incoming call from you, WhatsApp call. Then I was wondering, where is it coming from? And you are here.
Well, I'm telling you, right now they are saying there's some type of
Of mother, father, or mother, father, mother, child, or father, child. It makes parenting to be paying out the measure of value which has been given to you from the time you were born up to now, which has been given to you by each and every other person who participated in your reality. Paying back outward, and you don't pay by money, but you pay by being that value, that which you attained in your way growing up to this age. Therefore, someone of 20 years can be a parent to someone else of 40 years. Someone of 10 years can be a parent to someone of 50 years. It is giving out. When you reach out to someone else in need, you have brought parentage to them. Because parentage is the act of God. And I said that the Lord's Prayer, I always sum it into two words. The first two words of the same prayer, our Father. These two words proclaims oneness, proclaims worship, and divine worship and sonship with the Father, which is God. He's not a biological father, mark that, but he is our eternal Father that provides, that gives out, that pays out, that power which is in the word parent, that gives out that power to each and everyone, each and everyone without bias, because that is the unconditional love of God, which is not biased. Unconditional love of God is not biased. It's not biased because it sees everything as God. This is what parenting is, to be God-like. It's not giving birth to a child, then you say, I am sacrificing this and that because you are telling your child, I'm sacrificing this and that because you are my child. No, you are not sacrificing anything. You are not sacrificing anything. Whatever value has been given to you, you are supposed to give it out. You are not sacrificing everything. And our topic today is about parenting and sacrifice. And many people mix these things, that they are sacrifices. Someone sacrifices because of their kid. They are not sacrificing. Sacrifice, this is what sacrifice it is. Sacrifice is making something or perceiving something as sacred. Sacrifice comes from the word sacred. You make something sacred, that is a sacrifice. Therefore, a parent cannot be doing any sacrifice. What they are doing, it is their responsibility. And a responsibility means that one acts or one has the ability to respond. Having the ability to respond is what responsibility is. Response and ability. That is what responsibility is. So, biological fathership and sonship is a responsibility. You as a father having the ability to respond to the needs of your son. There is no sacrifice. Sacrifice is when you make something sacred. And have we ever sacrificed? And people will use this word, they will just use it like tissue paper. I'm sacrificing all my time because of you, and you are this and that. I'm sacrificing this, telling people you are sacrificing. You are not, because you didn't make that sacred. If it was sacred, you could not be complaining that you are sacrificing this and that. When you take time in solitude, in stillness, you set that time and be in the presence of God, you have made that time sacred. You have sacrificed. Sacrifice is not slaughtering, animals to appease God or to make God happy. It is not that. Sacrifice is not giving something to please God. Sacrificing is bringing sacredness to any moment or anything. That is what sacrifice is. Sacrifice is bringing sacredness to anything and everything. And it takes back again to the baseline. If sacrifice is bringing to sacredness to something or a situation or some time, therefore, it is what we have always been reminding ourselves here, that ours is not to get overwhelmed by anything outside of us. Ours is to claim the divine in everything. Ours is to claim God in everything. This is a negative situation. Yes, I acknowledge it is a negative situation. Spirit within me, reveal to me the lessons I have to learn out of this. But I know this situation right now. And because I have renowned it, I rename it. As it is negative, I give it a new name, that it is positive. Now, this is it acts negative, but for me, I renew it and I rename it as a positive situation, and I claim the divine out of that. You have brought sacredness to that situation. You have sacrificed, you have brought sacrifice to God because you have claimed God. You have claimed light in the midst of darkness. That is what sacrifice is. Claiming the light in the midst of darkness. Shining, seeking the paths that contains darkness and shining light to them. You have sacrificed because you have made those, they are negative parts, but you made them sacred by taking time to shine your light and to claim God out of that. Because the grander truth is that, and I'm telling people that if I define God in this aspect, and tomorrow I define him in another higher aspect, that is who I am, me, because I know what we call as God is ever knowing, ever expanding, ever growing, and ever everything. Therefore, he can never attract a final definition and description. At the same time, every moment he changes. Tomorrow's God is grander and bigger than yesterday's God. What is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow is that pure essence, which is love. Therefore, out of love, which is that pure essence of God, came the light. Even our scriptures tell us this, they teach us this, that God said, let there be light, and there was light. And it was that. He didn't say let there be darkness. Initially, I used to say that out of love, it split itself into two, to light and darkness. But let me tell you, I redefine that, I renewed that, and I renamed that. Out of love came light. And out of some state of forgetfulness of some parts of light is where darkness came from. And there was some unmanifested light, is what darkness is. Because some 3 days or 4 days ago, there is this guy, he's called, what is his name? Greg Biden. I think it's Greg Biden or some, this guy, quantum physics. He is the Greg something. Greg Biden or what? Is it Greg Biden or what? I'm asking someone here. So, this is actually, he opened my perception to another higher level. And actually, he was not even talking about light and darkness. He was talking about dark matter and black holes. Yeah. That one was magnificent. That revelation. He said, this is what he said. What we call as dark matter, what we call as black holes, they are all light, but in another bandwidth, that which we cannot perceive. I don't know if you understood me. What we call as dark matter, what we call as black holes, they are made of light, but in another opposite bandwidth, but they are made of light. Therefore, it means that darkness is light. Darkness is light, but it is in another bandwidth which we of third density, we cannot see. Because here in this third density, we are talking about light and darkness. Let me tell you, fourth density moving up, it's not about that. It's something else. Because when we go to fourth density, we won't see dark as black. We will have higher perceptions. Even that which we call as dark, we will not see it as black. That's why fourth density beings, when they come here, they don't need to open their eyes. They will see in the darkness of their eyelids. It's because it is light in another bandwidth. So, and all the matter, the things which we see as physical, it is light. Everything is made of light. Everything in the universe is made of light. Compressed at this angle, compressed this way, at that way, and it forms matter. Matter is compressed and formulated light is what matter is. Therefore, there is only light. So sacrifice, in order for you to practice sacrifice, you have to walk with the eyes of God. And God has got one eye only. God has got not two eyes. It is one eye. The same eye that which Jesus said that not unless you see with that single eye, your body cannot be filled with light. When you see with that single eye, your body is filled with light, because the single eye sees one thing. We said in the beginning there was love, and then out of love it came light. Therefore, the single eye of that love sees one thing. It is a single eye. It is said it sees one thing. It sees itself. And what is that we can call itself? It sees all of its manifestation. As manifestation are all out of light, energy, or frequencies. It sees everything energetically. It sees that from the first stage of love. What it sees next is light. It sees light. The reason why I'm telling you guys, last week we were saying the reason why God sees everything as God is because it created the darkness and it created the light. So it sees everything as of itself and like of likeness of itself. But the grander truth is that I'm telling you, after the love came light, then darkness came at the other end. And it is just the state of forgetfulness or some unmanifested part of light. But what comes from the love, what came from love is the first which came is light. Therefore, the one eye of that love sees one thing which is ahead of it. It sees light. It sees everything as itself. It sees everything as the image of the likeness of itself. Therefore, it sees everything as itself. You want to sacrifice to God? Help God in doing this. Sacrificing is to help God doing this. Seeing, like you want to help God, seeing everything that is of light. Everything you see, seeing that of light. Becoming God-like is sacrificing. Seeing everything as light, number one. Where did light come from? It came from love. Seeing everything as manifestation of love. Seeing everything, if love is God, then seeing everything as God. This is a negative situation. I see what I acknowledge it, because let us not cheat ourselves. And like we are too spiritual that there is a negative situation outside, then you want to deny it is not negative. You are in denial. Let me tell you. Do not deny anything. Denial is bad. When the shit outside is crazy, it's because it's out of your own manifestation, your own creation. So when shit outside is crazy, do not deny that. What you deny, you have separated with. What you separate with, you have put into the hole of darkness. What you have, and you have to know that what you put into the hole of darkness has not denied you and is claiming you. Therefore, it is attached to you. Immediately you throw it into the hole of darkness, it pulls you down with it to the hole of darkness, and you experience it. You experience its nature when it is in the depths of the holes of darkness. Therefore, shit happens outside. What do? We have to acknowledge that, yes, this is crazy outside. I acknowledge it. But for me, I want to renew it, and I'm renewing it, and I'm renaming it. And I am claiming the divine in this crazy situation, because behind this darkness, there is light. There is the love of God. And wherever the divine is claimed, it always rises. And you experience God in crazy situations. And you wonder, you just say, wow, if it was not for this situation, this great thing could not have happened. When you claim the divine rises. Whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. This is the true story. This is the meaning of that. It is the meaning of claiming the divine in everything. It is what sacrifice is. It is what parenting is. Parenting is not to humans only, even to situations you are supposed to parent them. The first two words of the Lord's Prayer, our Father. Parenting is there, our Father. That light, when God said, let there be light, he became the father to the light. It is the light which was the sun. Therefore, there was an aspect of father and son. There's an aspect of parenting. And this is how God parents. Let there be light. Let there be light. This is how God parents. Let there be light. Nothing else. This is a crazy situation. You proclaim, let there be light. It is, people do not know. There is one thing people do not know. When Adam was in his pure form, before he was split into two, immediately he was created, before Eve was taken out of him. Because the reason why we are here, we are here to bring the divine unionship, the feminine and the masculine, back to its originality, which was of the first man, who was Adam, hermaphrodite man, who was both genders at the same time. So this was the power which we have when we are balanced. And this is the power which we can have when Adam was in that state of balance of the feminine and the masculine within him. This is what he was told by God after God finished creating. God did. After he finished creating, he told Adam, hey, name them. Name everything. Trees, animal, plants, name everything. That is, people do not know this. This is the original. That power which you say we have been given, the dominion and power, the original power which we were given by God is the power of naming. That's why I'm telling you, if a situation outside is crazy, acknowledge it. Then just come to the decision of renewing it. And to renew something, to renew, like this is this, but now you want to renew it because it does not serve what it is. Therefore, you renew it, move it from one place to another. Therefore, in order for it to be renewed, it has to be renamed. That action of renaming is the power that has been vested in man. The naming. When a situation is outside of us, an experience is negative, we can rename it. When it is full of light, we can rename it and say, let there be light. And I renew and I rename this as of light. And it becomes that, because an elephant could not be an elephant if Adam didn't name it to be an elephant. If he named it to be a cat, it will be a cat right now. We could be calling it a cat. But because Adam named it to be an elephant, up to now it is an elephant. It is going to be an elephant until we move to the next density. Therefore, sacrificing is bringing sacredness into everything, to time, to situations, to people. Yes, they're negative people, but still we have to bring sacredness to them. Bringing sacredness to other people who are of opposite polarities or who are negative is not seeing what that which can be seen by the physical eyes, but seeing that which resides in that negative person, that which resides within that negative person, which cannot be seen and yet present, which is the same that resides in you. Bringing sacredness is acknowledging the Christ in another person, especially the negative person. Because those people we love, we bring sacredness to them every moment. But the negative people, those people who can't forgive and forget about them, we can never bring sacredness to them. And to bring sacredness is to acknowledge the Christ in them and saluting the Christ within them and claiming that Christ to rise above that person, that light to rise above that person. Let me tell you one thing. Someone negative, when you don't see their negativity, but you see the light in them, you see the Christ in them, you see the divinity in them, immediately you start renewing them. You have brought transformation to them. Immediately you start to renew them, that Apana, this guy, he is acting this, but he has the capability to love because love is within him. He has the capability to be of light because light is within him. You are renewing that. When you renew, you rename that. When you rename, it becomes that. You acknowledge that and it rises, and you have brought healing and transformation